Our guest this morning is Mr. Harlon Brooks, whose slogan is, "You don't need no tea to eat Harlon's meat." He owns Harlon's Barbecue, and it's a rags to riches story. He started out as a janitor, and now he owns all of those restaurants. Congratulations, Harlon. Now, who is Harlon Brooks?
Harlon Brooks is this old country boy that came from Nacogdoches back in 1963, trying to find his way into the city. I ain't had much learning, just knew how to work hard and do the right thing, and stayed in the middle of the road and went from one step to another.
So when you say you went from one step to another, what does that mean?
Well, I came here to go to school at TSU. I stayed there a couple of years and got married to Alfredi. And Alfredi was pregnant with Marlon, my son, who is now 44 years old. And we left school and went into the work market. She went into worked with Texaco. I went for Mission Manufacturing as a machine operator. Worked hard, did the right thing, moved up the ladder pretty fast, and knew how to say yes sir and no sir. Mm-hmm. And the good folks blessed me and let me go as high as they wanted me to go, until I reached that ceiling, and I landed in a tool room. And that's the highest you could go in the shop to become a tool maker. And I was in this tool room with about 15 other tool makers. And they began to leave the job. And I asked a question, where are you going? We doing all right. We good middle class. We got our home, brick home, new cars, new trucks. Why are you leaving this job? And they said, well, hell, Brooks, you can make more money working for yourself. I didn't understand that because I wasn't no entrepreneur. I didn't know what was going on, but they said, Brooks, you cook good barbecue. You ought to open your barbecue stand.
So you were cooking barbecue all the time?
I was cooking barbecue for St. Agnes. We was in a building fund, and every time we cook barbecue, take it and sell it, raise money. Bring the money back for the church. So
you planted a seed.
I did, yeah. I began to see myself high and lifted up, not on the bottom, but on the top. I began to see that. I began to talk that to my wife and to my children, And these guys sold me a barbecue stand. I had no vision for a barbecue stand. But this place at Zelensky was a Texaco station, and it came open. And I didn't realize about this place. But I was over here at a stop and go early one morning after cleaning up the church. I was the janitor for St. Agnes also. And I had cleaned up for Sunday school. And I went by this store every Sunday morning to get a cup of coffee. And this guy said that if a man had some money, he could make $1 million a year. I said, what? I couldn't count to $1 million. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, what you talking about? I ain't going to tell you. I said, man, I ain't got no money. So you can go and tell me if you want. He said, you see that Texaco station right there? I said, yeah. He said, if a man opened a liquor store there, he can make $1 million a year. I said, what? Liquor store. Mm-hmm. I barbecue. So I stirred my coffee and went on home. Told Alfredi about it.
Okay.
And she said, oh, we don't know nothing about no business, Harlon. No. We doing all right. Dog, bring me there. Get in the bed and go to sleep. Mm-hmm. But on my way back from church, she said, I thought about what you said. And I've been working for Texaco for nearly 10 years. And everybody that I've trained, they have moved up over me. We're young enough that we can go out now. And if we don't make it, we can always go back. I think we ought to try that. just like that. And I worked for Texaco, and Texaco owned the property, so I'll get the lease from them. She brought the guy out here, and they were good friends at Texaco. He blessed us with the lease on this building, and we started opening it up as a liquor store. But the community fought us here and wouldn't allow us to put in a liquor store. So the next phase was barbecue, number 2. And the third phase was a car wash. Notice they put a car wash across the street. But it was always in my vision to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So we opened Harlon's Barbecue up in August of 1977. And it was worked well. It was prosperous for 5 years. Then we opened up the second store in 82. It went well for a while, but it dropped way down. That's when I say for 10 years we struggled with these 2 Martin Luther King stores. I like to say we was in the valley.
In the valley.
In the valley. And we stayed there 10 years trying to come out. But through our prayers and faith and everything, there was a blessing came through on that. Through Rodney Ellis. Rodney Ellis, we had been catering for Rodney. Go in and cater for Senator Ellis, and he never wanted to pay you too much. Alfred would always clean up the bathroom, because he was single at that time. Clean up the bathroom for him. And he never forgot Harlon Brooks and Harlon's Barbecue.
Wow.
And it came up in city council, but they was going to put Texas native foods in the airport. And they wanted to put barbecue. And they said, go get Harlon.
It was that simple?
It was just that simple. But it took 3 years to get there because we didn't have no way of getting finance.
But do you remember when I was teaching entrepreneur classes at St. Agnes?
I remember that.
And I had Bank of America there, and you came to my class and met one of the guys in there one time.
I remember that. I remember that. But Texas Commercial Bank, through the help of there was Rodney, Sheila, all those people. A lot of them helped us get along, the minorities get along through Texas Commercial Bank.
And you've got to have some help like that.
You got to have somebody to help you. Because we definitely can't make along. But when that help is provided to you, you got to stand good for it. Because if you don't, it messes up other Afro-Americans, other minorities that goes out to come behind you to get along or to get what they need to go with their business.
So they called for you. They said, go get Harlon.
Yeah, he sent John Castillo out here. And we was at this restaurant. If you got a minute, I'll tell you about it.
I got a minute.
That man came out here, and it was hard times in South Park. You know, crack had hit our community. This place had turned to Section 8. Crime was heavy. And I was back there washing dishes in the kitchen. And this Hispanic guy came up to the window, had on this dark blue suit and his white shirt and big, pretty cufflinks. And I said, this got to be the RS or somebody, because this man has no business in this community. What is he looking for?
What is he
What do he want with me?
What
do he want from me? You know, here I'm behind on my taxes and everything. I don't know how I'm going to make it from one day to another.
Oh, my God.
And he asked the girl that was running the cash register, he said, is Mr. Brooks here, Harlon Brooks? She said, yeah, there he is back there. I said, oh, Lord. So I turned around and I said, be right with you, sir. And I went in the corner there and wiped the sweat off my face and came on up and, yes, sir, how can I help you? He said, I see you're busy. But Rodney Ellis and Ben Reyes sent me out here to ask you, do you want to put Harlon's Barbecue in the Intercontinental Airport? I never learned to say no. I said, yes, sir, I'm ready. In other words, that lifted me, it gave me hope, You know, when you're down so low and hope comes, and I had something to tell Aunt Freddie to cheer up, and she got on the phone and call all her friends, and it was something that gave us a big lift, but it took 3 years to get there. But we kept the faith and kept working hard. We didn't have no money, but help came. And we opened the Intercontinental Airport in September of 92.
92.
And we did a good job. We worked hard. We kept the aprons on and made folks happy out there. And they seemed fit to bless us to try to get into DFW Airport. We went there, opened up 5 restaurants. Well, we opened 2 at Intercontinental, then 1 at Harvey, 5 at DFW, 3 in Austin, 1 in Las Vegas, and about 3 or 4 here in Houston. So we've been on a long ride. And I like to say this, you know, here I am, I'm 63, be 64. I thank God for this journey.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. It's been a learning experience, plenty of relationships.
Wouldn't trade it.
I wouldn't trade it for the good and the bad, because the bad taught us something about the good, how to appreciate it when they're a good time. Because when bad time come, and every entrepreneur gonna experience some tough time, but tough time makes tough people, you know.
Doesn't it make it tough?
Oh yes, and you gotta know, you gotta understand where you are, and that you can make it through tough time. You know, and you gotta keep working that within your family. You gotta be able to bring your children on up into the business and teach them, and hoping they would fall in love with it, because you need to leave an inheritance behind. Mm-hmm. You need to leave something for them to carry on. Mm. So I'm thankful that I'm trying to do that. So
now you have franchises.
I have 1 franchise. That's on Cullen, on Alameda. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something that happened through Candace, my daughter, through her relationship. She had friends in Dallas that worked for her, and they desired to have a Harlon's, and she helped them get that place. It was something that was going away, and we helped them get it. So we are just trying to keep going, but we're downsizing now. Too much for my daughter to handle. I want to live in Nacogdoches. I have me a little old juke joint there.
They tell me it's gorgeous.
Oh, it's a nice little place, and have a bed and breakfast, and we try to do what we can to better our communities and keep it going.
I hear you recently ran for office.
Yes, I ran for county judge in Nacogdoches. I was a write-in candidate. Didn't have too much of a chance as a write-in, but I really wanted to get my name out there, and I did a pretty good job at it. And I'm going to come back at it in 2010.
Okay.
It's a 4-year term, so we're getting ready to get back on the ballot for that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, where are you now? Where is Harlon Barbecue now?
Harlon's Barbecue is in the Austin Airport, in Las Vegas Airport, in Bush Airport, and Galleria, and Martin Luther King.
Wow.
We sold 5 units in Dallas.
Will they still carry the name?
No, we sold it to another company.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What about, you remember when you went Buy Your Place?
Mm-hmm. Buy Your Place, we left Buy Your Place in 2001, I think. It was good for us for 3 years, but when they started remodeling down there, putting in the rail system, building hard rock, it took business away from it. So we thought it was best to get out there while we could. We had been there 5 years. We had 3 good years, 2 bad, and we didn't know what the others would be like. So we decided to get out. And once we decided to leave there, that's when Freddie and I decided to move back to Nacogdoches.
Wow.
And turn the business over to Candace.
Wow. Now, for the entrepreneurs that are probably trying to make a decision, should I close it? Should I keep going?
You got to realize when you're too deep, when the water is too deep, and you feel on the inside that you're going to drown, it's time to jump overboard. Get out.
Because nothing's worth your health.
Nothing is working. And what that can do to you, it can take everything away from you. A lot of times we stay in it too long. We try to hold up the ship too long. And we need to give it up and maybe try something else, because that's not working. A lot of times you can lose everything with a venture. You sink the whole thing, and there's no way to return. So you got to know when to hold them, you know,
and when to fold them.
And when to fold them. You got to know that. And sometimes we stay too long.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
But I would encourage us to continue that entrepreneurship. And we are always somewhere around and can always talk to you and tell you, and always would share what we've learned on our journey. And we've had some great experiences and created a lot of knowledge. We got a lot of whelps on our back to let you know we've been in the fight. So, and we still here and we still going. And hopefully that Candace can keep on going and keep the name Harlon's Barbecue alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you have barbecue sauce?
Yes. We have the barbecue sauce now, and we have seasoning. We are in the packaging and shipping, and we're doing the catering and just many things that have to do with food.
So no one should die before they taste
Harlon's Barbecue.
Harlon.
Please don't. Please don't.
Don't do yourself like that.
You don't need no teeth to eat Harlon's beef. Not at all.
Is that your slogan?
That's one of our slogans, yeah.
You don't need teeth.
Don't need no teeth to eat Harlon's beef. You know, we had a guy working for us at Intercontinental, Ricky Maddow, and he developed that slogan for us.
I like it.
Yeah, he would yell out in the airport, "Come on over. You don't need no teeth to eat Harlon's beef." And people come from all over the world, and they see us and they tell us about Ricky telling them that.
Wow.
And he's been loved by many people that's traveling in our airport. And I just thank God for that presence there. It's been a tremendous blessing to my family and many other families that work for us. You know, we started off right here, and I like to call the hood, that changed to be the hood. But those kids that came up in here, a lot of their family got hooked on drugs and things and left those kids to fare for themselves. They came into Harlon's Barbecue and made it their home.
Wow.
And a lot of them now have done very well. They got family, they got homes, and they're doing all right. And, you know, I think we saved quite a few of those kids.
Well, good.
And that's one of the most important things about our story. We created a haven for them at a time when they needed somebody so bad.
Mm.
Yeah. And a lot of them are still with us today.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So Selinsky
Yeah.
and Martin Luther King.
That's where we started.
That's where you started.
That's where we started.
Selinsky and Martin Luther King.
That's right here on the common.
Right here on the common.
Yeah, we had to compete with churches. We had to compete with Popeyes and all these others. They all gone, and we still around here.
So if you had to make one statement, would it be you never know who you're planting a seed in, because you planted a seed at St. Agnes just by barbecuing to help them raise money.
Yeah.
You went to Rodney Ellis' house.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife cleaned his restroom when she didn't even have to do it.
Yeah.
And he ended up saying a good word for you.
That's right. You never know who's watching you. You never know where your blessing's going to come from.
Wow.
You see, I know that God sends blessing to us through other people. And that's where you're going to get your blessing from. So I say, do good wherever you can. And be wise as a fox, you know, in your dealing, you know. And always be a good listener. you know. We old country folks, you know, we in Texas, we talk slow, we move slow, and so it's good to draw a few lines and make a few circles. You know, make it plain and fix it so you can understand it, you know.
Okay.
And, I tell my daughter all the time, slow it down, baby. You know, listen and don't answer too quick. You know, take your time.
You know we do that.
Yeah, just take your time and hear exactly what the question is. And think about it before you answer. Always be a good listener.
Always be a good
Always be a good listener.
It pays to listen.
It pays to listen. Listen. You know, what the slogan saying, when they just hut and talk, everybody listens.
Everybody.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? We thank you for the interview.
Well, I thank you for coming and waiting on me, spending time trying to get me here, and I really wanted to do this. You see, when you're walking, you want to walk with somebody that's been there. You know, when you get in a fight, you want somebody on your side that know how to fight. You know, it's survival.
It's survival.
It's survival. And those, you know, I always looked at wagon train when I was a little boy. But the wagon master had been over that trail so many times. He know where danger were. He know where the Indians was going to get you. So that's what you got to know. Somebody that done paved the way, done been over the trails and the byway, been in fights and won. They got to win now. Because if you get beat up, you might not live to tell the story. You see? You got to come out. You just got to win.
You got to win.
You got to win. You got to be a winner.
You got to win.
You got to win. At all costs. You got to win.